Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this session we are going to learn decision tree classification algorithm and its implementation in Python. You might have heard the term called as CART, C-A-R-T, classification and regression trees. And this term is an umbrella for two types of trees such as classification trees and regression trees. The classification trees will help you to classify the data, whereas the regression trees are designed to predict the outcomes, which could be some real numbers such as salary of a person. So in this session we will focus on the classification trees, and the algorithm which I am going to apply for the given data set is decision tree algorithm. And as we are all aware that this algorithm works by splitting the observations to classify the label. So before we proceed further, let me show you the data set which we are going to consider for this study. So the data set is social network ads, as I had already taken the same data set for the implementation of logistic regression and k nearest neighbor algorithm. The same data set I am going to apply and make sure whether we are going to get a better accuracy comparatively to the other algorithms or not. So in this algorithm we have totally 400 data sets, right? And the variables what we are having in this data set is age, estimated salary and purchased. So the main objective of this study is to check whether a person with the age and with an estimated salary is going to purchase a new car or not. Okay, to do this job we are going to write a program in Python for decision tree implementation. So based on this data set we have seen the lot of points on our dimensional scatter plot. Now let us understand how does the decision tree works for this distribution of the points, how it is exactly going to split up all this data into multiple iterations. Okay, as you can see in the picture we have few datas in red in color and few others in green color, right? Now the datas are totally distributed here. Some are here, some are in the top right, some are in the bottom right, and in between we have some other independent variables. So now to split the data we required such an algorithm which will try to optimally split the things and ensure for a better accuracy of the model. So what we do means here we are going to scatter up into the slices using several iterations. So there will be split 1, split 2, split 3 and split 4. So as you can see in the picture, split 1 will split the data at x2 equal to 60 and split 2 will split the data at x1 equal to 50. Split 3 split our data at x1 equal to 70. Also split 4 will split our data at x2 is equal to 20, and this is how our decision tree works. So basically when we look at the picture, the split is done in such a way to maximize the number of certain category in each of these splits of 2. Finally we are able to design the decision tree based on the splits what we made. So as you can see clearly in the picture, if the x2 is less than the 60, okay, if the x2 is less than the 60, what we get is the few of the observations. Okay, for split 1 we are done x2 less than 60, right? If it is less than 60, I also need to check whether x1 is less than 70, and if both are true then it is going to give me the red color. So x2 should be less than 60 and x1 should be less than 70. It is red color. If not, it goes to the second corner of the tree and it verifies for the x1 less than 50. Okay, if x2 value, okay, whatever the value is there, if it is greater than the 60 and if it is less than, x1 is less than the 50, it is in green color. So in this fashion we will try to design the decision tree. So based on this flow chart, we are going to write a program, okay, and we'll ensure that most of our observations belong to the right class. Right, with this note we'll start explaining the program which is written in Python. So first of all, we have to import all the libraries here. The libraries which are required for the study is NumPy and Pandas. We'll import it and we'll execute it. After that, we have to import the dataset. The dataset what we have taken is social network ads. It's a CSV file and we can read that dataset using Pandas library. So we write dataset is equal to pd.read_csv. Okay, this is how we can import the dataset to our workspace. And of course we have to split up the matrix of features x and y, where x is an independent variable and y is a dependent variable. Okay, among the dataset, the first two, the age and estimated salary, will be considered as the independent variables, and purchase column will be considered as the dependent variable vector. Right, so let us go to the variable explorer here and try to analyze the dataset here. When you double click on this data frame, you can see very clearly that we are able to see all the details of the CSV file in a format of a data frame, and also we can see the age, estimated salary and purchase column very clearly, among which the age and estimated salary we are going to consider it as a matrix of features, and the last column will be the dependent variable vector. Okay, so now we'll split that data into x and y. After we do that, we can see that variables what we got is independent variable vector x and a dependent variable vector y. We can see clearly here the variable independent variable vectors for the age and the estimated salary. So x is holding only the two matrix of features. Okay, 0 to 399 means 400 data altogether, and also the dependent variable y is holding the last column, that is the purchase column here. Okay, now we have split up the data set successfully. Now we are going to do the feature scaling mechanism. As I already mentioned in my earlier session, that feature scaling mechanisms are applied for such data set wherein the data are not in a right scale. So for example, if you see the X train and Y train data set, okay, after we split up the data set into training and testing, let me do this first. So once we are able to split up the data, considering 25% of the data for testing and rest of the 75% for the training data set, we are able to do the feature scaling mechanism. And to do the feature scaling mechanism, it is very important that what kind of method we are going to apply it here. There are two methods, normalization and standardization. So in this study we are going to apply standardization method, right? And for that we have to import that library from the pre-processing standard scaler, create an instance of that class, and finally fit and transform the feature scaling mechanism for the trained dataset which has been created while splitting the dataset here, and finally use only the transform method for the tested dataset. Store it in two different variables, xtrain and xtest. After we split up our data, we can see the X train and X dataset, X test dataset. Okay, this is the X train dataset for the age and estimated salary, and it is clearly observable that the data are not in the same scale. You can see some are in 40s, some are in 30s, 50s, like that. Okay, and even the estimated salary details are also not in the right scale. So this may lead the misinterpretation to the model in future. So to avoid it, we have to go for feature scaling mechanism, and we'll execute this, and let us see the output for the X train and X test, and it is rightly scaled all the values you can see here for the X dataset testing. We have age and estimated salary all are in the right scale from -3 to +3. Similarly for the X train dataset, we have also successfully able to apply the feature scaling mechanism. Right, now it's time to train the decision tree classification model on the trained dataset. For that, we have to import this class decision tree classifier, which we are going to import it from the very famous library called as scikit-learn.tree. Okay, and once we import this class, we have to create an instance of the class by passing various parameters like criterion and random state here. Criterion and the random state. Okay, so now what is this criteria here? The criteria is the function to measure the quality of a split, and that quality is measured by entropy. We are going to consider entropy as the criterion for our study. Okay, however, the default value of criterion is Gini, but we had chosen the entropy criterion because it is a measure of information which will indicate the disorder of the features within the target. Okay, so the optimum split is chosen by the features with the less entropy. Whichever is having the less entropy, that is going to choose it as the optimum split. That's the reason we had applied entropy criterion, and of course we had taken the random state equal to 0. So these are the two parameters need to be passed to the decision tree classifier, and once we are ready with the model, we have to fit that model to the trained data set. Okay, for the X train and Y train. Right, so let us execute these lines of code. Yes, we are ready with the model here. The model is successfully able to fit with the trained data set. Now it's time to predict some new results. So based on the data set, we can take the values. I had taken for the age 30 and with the salary 87,000. Let us predict whether that particular person is going to purchase a new car or not. Let us execute this statement, and we can see the value as 0. That means that person is not going to purchase a car. Okay, this is how we wrote the prediction statement. We have to whatever the model being created, which is stored in classifier, we call the method called predict. Okay, and we are going to apply the st.transform for the data. Okay, transformation has to be done for the data, that is for the age and the estimated salary. Right, so this is for only for a single data. We can also try it for the multiple data. Okay, so what we did means here we are using this classifier to predict all the data of the X test. Okay, and we are going to display the result in a row by row manner. That's the reason we had printed all the statements in this way. We had used concatenation method via the NumPy library, and we had passed two parameters here. One is the prediction parameter, another is the testing parameter. So prediction parameter is the value which is given by the model, and testing values are already there in the data set. Okay, we had done the reshape, applied the reshape method so that every values will be in a vertical manner. Okay, it comes one after the other. Right, the final answer should be in that particular way. We can draw the graph for this. That's the reason we are going to print it in this particular fashion. Right, and finally you can see the last parameter is 1. So this will ensure there is a horizontal display of all the details. So the one which is inside the method will ensure the values in the vertical way. Okay, and this is for the one set, and finally if you put 1 after first result, it is going to give you the second result. Okay, so that's the reason we had concatenated all the result in a single statement. And finally we are going to do some metrics. Okay, we are going to evaluate the model based on two metrics, one confusion matrix and accuracy. So first of all, let me display all the results of the test set, and when I execute that, this is how it displays. So you can see here the values are in vertical way, okay, this way, but after one single data it is going to go in a second data, so this is horizontally. Okay, so this is the predicted result, this is the test result. So you can see so far it is giving very correct answers. Okay, so predicted is 1, even test is result is 1. So the results are good here, except few results you can see that it's telling the person is going to purchase a car, but as per the testing result he has actually not buy the car. Okay, there are few wrong predictions and most of the predictions are right here. Okay, now to check how many right predictions are there, how many wrong predictions are there, so we have to evaluate the model using few performance metrics, and the metrics what we have chosen here is confusion matrix. Okay, so this confusion matrix and accuracy score, we are going to import it from the library called sklearn.metrics, scikit-learn.metrics, and we create an instance of that class and pass the y test and y predicted value. So we are able to generate the confusion matrix here, and which has given among the 100 data set, I think 62 plus 29, which will give you 91 predictions are right, and 6 plus 3, 9 predictions are wrong. So of course you can predict the accuracy of the model, which is none other than 91%. Okay, you can see the 0.91, if you multiply by 100 it will give you 91%, right? So this is how the decision tree classification algorithm will be applied for a given case study. So in my next session I am going to deliver a talk on support vector machines as well as naive Bayes classifier. So until then, happy learning and thanks for watching this video.